What's up guys, Balmont here. So earlier today I was actually helping out people against Ricard, the Lord of Blasphemy, and I actually have a lot of thoughts to share about this boss. Fromsoftware has come a long way ever since this Dragon God days back from Demon Souls. And listen up guys, I have a favor to ask. I'm gonna ask you to hit the like button. You don't even need to subscribe to this channel, okay? Maybe you just landed on it by chance, who knows? But I ask you to do this because YouTube has been working, let's say it's not being very favorable towards me whenever I try to post something different. So you hitting the like button is gonna tell its algorithm that yes, recommend this channel for this type of content. So without further ado, let's get right to it. While certainly not present in every single Soulsborne game, gimmick boss battles did happen here and there. Now, for example, if you take Demon Souls, which was the game that started it all, we have the Dragon God boss battle, which was a gimmick fight, which was, certainly very impactful visually. It was still a very dumb boss battle. Now, before any of you whip out the Soulsborne Bible and jump over to page 437 to tell me why this battle had to happen that way and yada yada yada, I understand all that, but in practical terms, in gameplay terms, it was a stupid boss battle. It wasn't even a boss battle, it was more of a series of traps that you had to overcome. That's what it was. And of course we also had the Storm King, which required us to use the Storm Ruler to defeat. Again, it was visually very impactful, but in terms of gameplay, it was very simple. Not as simple as the Dragon God battle, but it wasn't that fun. It was more of a marvel that you'd see for the first time, but on subsequent playthroughs it'd just be, okay, let's get this over with. Now, I'm more than willing to excuse this, I'm gonna say, design flaw in terms of gameplay on Fromsoftware's end, and not because it's a Fromsoftware game. I'm not a fanboy. I love their games, but that doesn't cloud my judgment. Believe me, I hated certain parts of Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's my favorite series of all time, okay? That being said, I'm willing to excuse this lack of gameplay entertainment, I'm gonna put it that way, on those two bosses, because really it was their first game of this scale, of this, well, not exactly this genre because we had King's Field prior to it, but they were going for something grander and they certainly didn't have a lot of experience with it, so it's okay, it's understandable. I would say the same thing from any other company if this mistake happened in this very same fashion. The Storm Ruler sword would return in Dark Souls 3, where we'd actually need to take down Euron the Giant, and that battle was actually, a little bit more interesting. It still wasn't very hard, one hit of the Storm Ruler and Euron was staggered like crazy. It was still fairly easy boss battle. It was good for farming souls, but other than that, it wasn't really all that impactful, all that interesting. And now fast forward back to 2022 to Elden Ring. Just the other night, actually a couple of nights ago, I was watching this video about a guy reviewing Elden Ring, and when he got to the Ricard boss battle, he said it was a gimmick boss fight, but it was really interesting. And now I still had those previous installments, those previous boss battles that Fromsoftware had created fresh in my mind, so I thought, wait, he's calling this interesting? How can that be? But when I finally got to fight Ricard, I actually fought him for the very first time yesterday, and I decided to spend this beautiful Sunday, just doing some quick farming, helping people out on co-op. I love doing that sometimes, I'll take some days and just help people out. I finally understood what that person meant. It's not even a channel that I follow, it's just one of those videos you sometimes land on. Ricard still requires a special weapon to kill, as you can see here. And much like the Storm Ruler, this added effect only happens when you are fighting him. It's a very specific weapon. The difference being that I've seen some people actually use, I think it's called the Serpent Hunter. I've seen some people use this spear outside this boss battle and they seem to be doing really well with it. Let me know in the comments if you are one of those people. And while, yes, he certainly has stagger moments, he certainly does get staggered, it doesn't happen at every hit. And this guy actually has a lot of movements, it's a complete boss. He's not just there for you to take stabs with a gimmick weapon. Fighting him is really, really fun. Well, you're actually watching this footage, and you can see, I just did some dodge rolls, and I am also been performing quite regularly the jumping R2 attack, which will aggro him towards you more often than not, so be careful when you do this, but this could also serve as a way to divert attention from other players. So, well, there we go, a tip for you. And of course, it's no secret to anyone that, you know, has ever come in contact with the Dark Souls community that the Gimmick bosses, they have always been some sort of a laughingstock for many of its players. Now, I don't know if Fromsoftware actually caught wind of this and decided to improve consciously this Gimmick boss, or if this was something they tended to do, you know, they've been meaning to do ever since maybe Dark Souls 3, which actually already showed a lot of progress. But the fact is that in here, this boss battle, you know, besides being actually very decent for farming runes, because it's such a quick boss battle if you know what you're doing, it's also very entertaining to fight. It's dynamic. It's not just a matter of standing still and then mashing the button and then, okay, you're done, you're good. And this actually speaks to how much Fromsoftware has matured in its game design. Now, I'm not saying by any means that Elden Ring is perfect. No, it's absolutely not a perfect game, and you know, anyone who says otherwise is turning a blind eye to quite a few flaws it has. It's still an amazing game, and to me, it's, you know, quite possibly a very strong contender for Game of the Year, you know, for 2022. As a matter of fact, I've seen a lot of people saying this. A lot of people have been saying that, you know, Forbidden West has no chance, Elden Ring has already won everything over. And while this certainly isn't the topic, you know, this isn't the point of this video, this boss battle showed me so much that I just had to come here and discuss it for a bit with you guys, because, you know, it's beautiful, it's amazing. Soulsborne games are some of my favorite games ever. I'm gonna say it's maybe my second or perhaps third favorite franchise. Yes, I think Ace Combat is still ahead of it. So let me know in the comments your impressions about this boss battle, and if you're interested, this character I'm playing is called Steven Seagal. That's why I'm kicking so much ass. So there you have it, guys. Those were my 2 cents on the Ricard boss battle, which is really amazing, and I'll see you next time. Later.